The Nikki Glaser Podcast. The Nikki Glaser Podcast.
Here's Nikki. Hello, here I am. It's the Nikki Glaser Podcast. Welcome. It's Thursday. Well, it's Thursday to you, but it's Wednesday here. I'm always honest with you. We're taping this episode Wednesday night. This is Nikki Glaser Podcast at night, and it's a special show. Andrew Collin is here wearing the blonde hairpiece that we described the other day. Oh, you got to go on our YouTube to see that, and it's going to be in a couple of days. He's in St. Louis here with me. Noah is in Arizona, and then we have a special guest that, you know, was just a last-minute add-on, but man, have I been waiting for this guest to come on for a while.
I have too.
Same? It's such a treat for me. I've had so many podcasts since this person has been in my life, and I've always been like, yeah, you want to do an episode? But been like, you don't have to, but like, I would love for you to. And it never really happened. And then I have been on this person's radio show and podcast, The Courtney Show. Many times you've seen him. You can listen to him every day on The Courtney Show podcast, where you can find anywhere you get podcasts. And you can also see him on Welcome Home, Nikki Glaser ? This Sunday at E, which is the season finale. It's almost over. And saying that to him. And please welcome to the show, my love, my boyfriend, my ex-boyfriend too.
We are many things to each other.
We've been so much to each other. Chris Convy, everyone. Welcome to the show.
Oh, yeah, I was waiting for some.
Yeah, there's usually
no
music,
applause.
and we just didn't have it ready for you.
Here,
I have. Oh, look at that.
Thank you so
We've
much.
never had sound effects like that
When the hell did we get that?
Oh my God.
No, you're
Only for
amazing.
Chris. Only for Chris.
Oh, that's good.
So, Chris, can I ask? You've never done a pod with Nikki.
No.
Do you feel like if the invite was stronger, that you would have been ready to do it? Or do you think because it was a half invite, like you could come on if you want? Or what was the?
It's probably
A bit of both.
probably a little bit of like everything. It's like,
Yeah.
How are we doing? Like,
Yeah.
you know, at that moment, like, how am I feeling that day?
Yes.
How much does Nikki really want it, and how much of it is her just being nice to me about it? She's.
I would never do it to just be nice to you, because I know that most of the time you wouldn't really want it, but you would do it to be a good friend. You would do it to be like, oh, she needs a guest, like I'll do it. Or at least that's what I would think.
Yeah, I mean, I'm doing this now because like I want to do something fun with you, but because it felt like you genuinely wanted me to do it.
Yes.
And that felt really nice.
Yes, and I do genuinely. Well, when we did radio the other day to promote the show, you know, this isn't someone that, it's not Kirsten or Taylor or my sister or my mom even, who when they grab a mic, like, I'm used to looking over here and seeing the person with me hold the mic like this. It's been good doing this show, you know, and like having to be Kirsten, you got to put it up. Yeah. And that's nothing against them. You have to learn in some way. I'm on a mic all the time, but it's nice that you would have been that way before, because you wouldn't like.
Well, maybe I've also been a television
too,
producer for a while. So like when people that aren't like, you know, you and Andrew seasoned veterans, you know, those were things that I had to look out for people.
Yes. But you
But I also wanted to be here because you and Andrew have such a special relationship, and this podcast and like the besties and all of this is an important part of your life, and it's a big part of your life, and you love it, and so it is. I'm very happy that you wanted me to be a part of it. So I'm glad to share it.
Well, I like hearing that.
You too. It's
I got
very
like teary-eyed.
That's really nice.
You just wipe it with your bangs.
Yeah.
That means a lot.
Better get me another pizza cutter too.
By the way,
After-
offended that every time I come over to Nikki's, pizza cutter and pizza tray still here.
I have a cutter at my house. That's why. So I left the cutter here.
Oh.
And she's a cutter. So.
Yeah. Well, I need a tool to do it with.
So wait,
but she's she's the worst kind of cutter. She cuts in line. Those.
What do you mean I got in line?
That's like the worst.
Can I
That's like
ask
the
you-
worst
can I ask
insult
you-
I didn't mean.
That was
it
good.
like
That was
Can I ask you a
good.
question? If someone,
You like dad joked a cutting joke.
if you go,
You got
in-
it back to like
I
clean.
felt like, yeah.
You took it away from me cutting myself with a razor, and you made it like, oh, at Whole Foods, I cut lines.
she's
I liked what you did there.
It's Six Flags. She wants to get on the rides faster.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah.
If you walk into a place and it's one of those places where you can put your bag down and claim a seat, but you're behind, let's say 4 people, but you claimed a seat first, what do you do? How do you handle those people? Are you one of those people?
I'm
Wait,
not one of those.
what? I'm
not one of
confused
those
about the
people.
scenario.
Chris got it.
No, so this
I
is
know
what
he
happens.
did.
So you go
I'm
to, let's say you go to Chipsy.
Well, can I just follow you and you just tell me where to sit
Yeah.
in the scenario? Because I don't know where to sit.
You're just a lady.
I'm just a little lady girl.
Who is this person
I'm
playing?
a baby girl that
I don't know
doesn't
who this is.
nothing about
this
her
person
show.
scares me.
I know the exact scenario you're talking about. So you get to Chipotle, let's say,
Okay.
and it's fairly busy, and it would be hard to find a seat. And then you set down bags, so you reserve that like 4 seats for you and your friends, and then you get in line. But in the meantime, other people are finishing, and there's a system. I mean, it works out.
There's a system.
pretty well that like people will be finished by the time you get there usually. But I think those people are scumbags.
What do you think? Claiming the seat.
Claiming
early.
I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't do it. And if I did do it, it would be. And I saw someone like I would do it because we were a 4-seater, and I thought everyone in front of us was not a 4-seater. But then it turned out somehow that they needed those seats. I would give them to them.
Yeah, if there's a way, if you're being thoughtful and you figured out the math or something, then yeah. Or in like a when.
I'll tell you what I am.
What are you?
If I'm pulling up to a Chipotle and I can tell that there's another car that's parking at the same time as me pulling up to Chipotle, and I will run into the store. I will run to beat them into it.
I think that's
Get in
acceptable.
front of them.
Yeah.
Oh.
That's acceptable, I think.
I'm already a fast walker.
That's
but-
acceptable.
Okay.
That's acceptable.
What about a movie theater?
I'll shove them out of the way.
Would you not hold the door? Oh, so you're not. What are you gonna do? Hold the door for someone that's behind you?
I'll make
No.
it. I'll make it look like it was.
You
not
hold the door
planned.
No,
like
you
this.
hold the door
Yes,
where
the
you
fake
go.
hold.
No, where you go in
Yes,
first,
yes.
but then you let them come in, but you're ahead of them.
The double push while you're walking
Yeah.
in. Yeah.
How dare you hold the door for someone and they walk in and then they get
Oh!
in line and you go in behind?
Unacceptable.
That you should be public executions. I just saw someone
What
at
about-
a Trump rally say that, so that's why it's on my mind.
What about a movie theater? I think movie theater
Okay.
rules are different. Like if you've got 3 people you're going to the movie with, and you've got it's you and 3 other people, and 2 of you are there, you can save 2 seats. I think,
Yes, I agree.
even for prime seats.
I'm with you on that. I agree with it.
Here's my thing. I would, if it was a really packed theater and they're pretty late, sorry, your friend's going to have to sit alone. 2 and 2. If you were a one person saving for 2 more people, I'm probably going to say, okay, wait for your friends because you need a friend, sir. But if you were to got someone with you and you're trying to save for 2 more people, you guys got to split up. Sorry, they're late.
I don't agree with that. I think 2 people saving for 2
You
other
and I
people.
shouldn't go to the theater together.
No, but
unless we're together.
No more
I see-
Maverick nights for us.
First of all, I got to see that. I mean, I got the stash and everything. I'm ready to go.
Oh yeah,
You're
you do
ready
have
for
the stash.
Maverick.
Yeah.
I can't stop thinking about what's
If
his
they're
name.
late,
Wait, what?
if they're late, wait, what's that?
I don't know what she said.
I was
Oh, did
talking-
you just tell me the end?
No. I was. I talked the next day about it, and I was like, that Hangman guy was pretty cute. Like the new guy, the asshole guy.
I don't remember you saying that to me.
I didn't say it to you, but
Oh.
I was gonna say it to you at some point.
Someone
I
got
just said it to you
hung?
now.
He's. I could see his.
He was a
appeal.
cutie.
I could see his appeal, but he
You
isn't.
sensed it at some point. You kind of went like this with your hand, and
think
you
I
covered
did.
up his torso.
I do this
you
thing
know.
when guys that are better looking than me come on screen at
no
movies.
one is.
And then I'll put my hands over Nikki's eyes like she's
And I
seen
did-
something pornographic.
I just did it to like fast jets in the movie, like when they would go too fast, because
Oh,
I know
God.
that's what he was
Like
he was
Lewis
getting
Hamilton?
There
horny
is something about those things that I'm like,
Yeah, they're F1 cars with wings.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. But yeah, this guy, by the way,
Oh yeah, that's I kind of like that story too.
great
that got
looking
me a
guy.
little bit horny.
we were chasing each other in the gym. So we went to the same gym in
They
Los
were
Angeles.
chasing the same
Wait, wait,
body.
wait,
we were
wait.
chasing the same body is what I told Nikki. and he beat me
Wait.
by a mile.
No.
Wait, was he at the?
So there's this gym in Los Angeles. It's amazing.
Oh, okay. So the guy that was in the movie was at your gym in LA.
Yes.
Training for that movie when Chris was still living there.
And
So it was a while ago.
so at one point I was like, I had a good consistent job in Los Angeles, and I was like, I'm gonna see if I could like get this kind of trainer that could transform me into like a
fighter pilot.
a fighter pilot essentially.
Yeah.
And there's this gym in Los Angeles where they literally they teach you how to eat. They do all of these things. It's wildly expensive, but they had like a bunch of famous clients that were training for movies, and one of them was this guy. And so me and this dude are literally doing the exact same exercises,
Well-
chasing the same body at the same time. And I'm looking
Yeah.
over at him, and I'm like, it gave me some motivation to be like, and then they would be like, he's going to be in that new Top Gun movie. And this is in 2017.
Such
or
motivation,
something.
though.
I like when you chase a body. Like you're getting in shape right now because you're going on a bike tour.
Yeah, I am.
Toward of.
But have you chased?
He chases bodies.
I've chased bodies like I've
He's
chased so
always
many.
chasing a body.
I've typed in so many different actors' workouts.
And
yeah.
so,
And they're
so
like,
their
you know,
clothing, the drinks they drink, the sponsorships yeah.
Yeah, like I definitely like. I've typed in Daniel Craig.
Coming out of the ocean in 007.
I mean, is that the hottest photo in the little gray pants or the gray?
I mean,
yeah,
I know
you
the photo, but it is not as
You know.
resonant to me as it is with you guys.
I mean, that's the perfect body because he's muscular, but he's not. But he is.
Interesting. What? Really?
Man,
Yes.
if you ever move back to Los Angeles,
I'm ready. Let's chase that body.
you can go to this place, Ultimate Performance. I'm telling you, these guys, they're the solution for people that are looking
So what
for
happened
that.
to you?
He moved back to St. Louis,
Moved back to
Nikki,
St. Louis.
and ate toasted ravioli.
I was
No,
chasing.
You always get into these like shapes that I really.
She
I
sees it
do.
every once
I
in a
do.
while.
I see you transform all the time, and it's and
Guys can transform.
Dude, we were talking
very
about it on the
easily.
podcast this week. Because he just shaved his mustache. I love a new guy that shows up in my boyfriend. All of a sudden, you shave your facial hair, and I'm like, "Who's this guy?
Who's this guy? Who's this
It
turkey?
brings a fun.
Well, you had a
element to
beard
it.
for a little while.
I was
You
beard-
don't come off as a beard man.
You have a beard now.
Well, I don't
Well,
know
it's
what
a,
this is.
it's a hot
I'm
5
facial-
o'clock shadow. Me and Chris are just
Okay.
flirting way
Tell
more.
me about the
than-
mustache situation.
Yeah.
I just trimmed it for Brenna as a joke, and she likes it.
And so he kept it. He did it as a joke, and then she was like, "Actually, I like
and her
it."
dad was in town the last 2 days, so I kind of
Does
felt
he like it
creepy.
too?
I think he actually flew F-18s.
Because you and his dad
He
are
flew
the same age.
No, I'm older.
Okay.
Yeah, he flew behind me. Yeah, he was I taught him.
Noah liked it.
yeah. So it's cool. Like,
No, is your guy ever chasing a body?
yes, he
it's
does. He's an
obvious
Israeli
bodies for
machine.
sure.
Or no, he's not Israeli. No, it's Israeli.
So
He's
when
a
you
machine.
told the story of like men changing their facial hair, I remember something at the pandemic where usually I would agree with that, but so Avi, like he's bald. So at the start of the pandemic,
Ew.
he had a beard
Just kidding, just
and a
kidding.
bald head, and he like one day he comes out of the shower, his hair was kind of like grown out on the sides, and he shaved his beard, and he just looked like this Polish man that walked off the street into the apartment, and I was like, well, who are you?
Did it
freaked
turn you
me out.
on?
At first it freaked
Were you
me
like,
out,
you got
and
any
then it kinda
borscht?
turned- kinda turned me on.
You want to be married to me?
You were like, you thought there was a home invasion. You weren't like, this is like a sexy new guy showing up.
Yeah, we lived in Greenpoint. You know, it's a highly
That's so funny.
Polish
So many, very
area.
Polish.
Oh my god, that's so funny.
Great pierogies in Green. I lived in Greenpoint.
I mean, I'm trying to think if there's ever a time where I've looked like that drastically different to you.
I know a time.
Oh, wait, I know a time. Oh my god, I can't believe I just set me
Yeah,
up
that's
for this
insane
story.
that you
Well, when
did
you got
that,
hit
and
by
I'm
a
like,
car?
is she doing this on purpose?
This-
She looked way better after she got hit by a car
Oh yeah,
than she
you
did
saw
this
me
week.
when I got. Oh my god.
What did I call you? I either called you. There's two women who like have been like who have helped apes out. One's Jane Goodall.
God.
Did I call you Goodall or did I
No,
call
it was
you?
Jane Goodall
I
for
know
sure.
it. I
Who's
know
the
your
other
all's
woman?
relationship. I know when it was.
Yeah, you know.
Thailand.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
Yes.
Wasn't expecting to see him, and he would surprise me, and I didn't know that he was going to be at the
For
airport,
the
and I thought I had
sexiest
I thought I had like at least 18 hours to get like gussied up and to look presentable to this person I had just started dating, and I flew on China Eastern Air. It was the worst fucking airline of my life. I land. It's my birthday. I'm tired. I am bedraggled. And then I
dragon.
felt like I had so much time. I get to go get picked up at the airport. Chris said there's going to be a person there to pick me up, bring us to the resort. He'll be there tomorrow. And of course, there's 3 Thai women that work for the airline holding a cake, and they come up to me and they start quietly singing happy birthday.
A cake with candles. So Nikki got off the plane, and I could see them, and I wanted these women who worked at the airlines. They were amazing. These Thai women were just so nice and friendly. I was like, hey, when my girlfriend gets off the plane, can we sing her happy birthday and give her this cake and make her feel really special when she gets off the plane? And they're like, yeah, great. Show me a picture. We'll like see if we can find her. Show me a picture. And like Nikki was on like a big MTV show at that point called Nikki and Sarah. And so I just pulled up it was the quickest thing I had. It's like Nikki on the show. Just like, this is prime Nikki.
Yeah.
Yes.
And
Did they
My
walk
body
right past her?
in a ravine would have been more recognizable than what I showed up as.
so somebody was like, I think I see her. And I'm like, no, that's not her. And,
They were asking for my dental records to confirm that this was me.
and so then they're looking for her, and they're like, let me see the picture. And they're looking, and I'm like, that's her. And they're like, no, it's not. And I'm like, that's her. That's Nikki. And she's like, they're like, that.
What did they
didn't say
say?
anything, but
No, she's like,
they were just incredulous.
yeah, they were like, I don't think that's her. And I'm like, that's her. And Nikki looked like she'd been on a plane for 26 hours or whatever it was, layovers and all these things. And she looked like she'd either been at like a Dave Matthews concert or maybe like in the woods helping apes for 6 months.
Yeah.
And like a super comfortable,
Studying
flowy
their
stuff.
Movements, living amongst them, eating with them.
So knowing how you felt you looked.
I dropped to the floor.
Yes.
And I went into a tiny ball to
Okay.
hide my face so that he couldn't see. And I just said, no, no, no. And then I had the same thing that happens every birthday where I feel bad that I'm not being appreciative enough. And like I'm rejecting this nice thing. So then I'm like, well, it's a good surprise and I have to be happy about this. And I do want to see him, but I like, you can't see me like this. Like you won't marry me. It's like seeing a wedding dress beforehand, but except you won't want to marry me not out of bad luck, but because this is how I look.
But maybe it's like a frog turning into a princess situation.
So I just talked to you like this. I was like, hi. And I was just like, I'm so embarrassed. And you were so sweet. And then later on when I returned to my normal self, we were able to joke about like, yeah, it was rough.
Oh, that it was rough for you.
No, that I looked rough. Like you were so sweet about it in like you weren't like, oh, you weren't like mean about like, well, you look weird. You were so sweet. But then later on in retrospect, you could be like, yeah, it was shocking.
I don't know if I said that exactly. It was an acknowledgement that we could all not look our best sometimes. And maybe that was not Nikki's best look.
And it was a good message because we can all not look our best. And I remember one time
God.
in particular in our relationship where I felt so great because I don't know what happened. I still don't to this day. I had a bout of the worst acne, like cystic, like acne at like that I've never had in my life. Everywhere, and just these big, and they wouldn't heal. They were almost like staph infection wounds on my face, on my cheeks, where I don't like, really bizarre. And this came in like the middle of nowhere. Like I don't know why it was caused, but it was there, and it wouldn't go away. And they were kept erupting, and I would like pick them because I was trying to like heal them. It was just awful. And I remember just like being in the dark and crying and being like, you can't look at me. You can't look, like I can't function, and just like crying. I would go to the gym and just like I was like, I don't know what to do. I can't be on. We were there to go make Not Safe the pilot. It was we were living in Beverly Hills, and you were really sweet to me at one point, and because I was crying in the dark, and I was like, I want you to leave.
Which is that was by choice. That was
yeah,
my choice.
I mean, you had asked me to do that, and I was in a mask, but even so, you wanted it dark in there, and you said you were just like. You made me like look at you and you were like, I don't care what, like, yes, I can. I remember you, what I liked about it was like, I acknowledge I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
I'm not going to say, what? You look fine. I was like,
Was it as bad as she thought though?
Yeah.
No, it's never
See,
as bad.
it's never as bad, I feel like.
It's never as bad as any of us think. Like,
Yeah.
when you feel insecure, which, I've seen happen before, not very often because you're a stud. Everybody knows
Oh,
it.
stop it. I throw 28 touchdowns and you think I'm great.
Man, that was one of the most inspiring moments of my life.
Let's talk about it.
we got to go to break and we're going to hear exactly what Chris is going to say about my face, and we're going to hear what he thinks about Andrew's football playing skills right after this. Andrew!
Every time I look into your eyes, I see nothing but a surprise. Baby, you're my eyes too.
And we're back. Chris is confused, and I love it so much. We don't know
the
what
magic of podcasting.
We don't know what anything
How
is
that
on the
has
show.
started.
No, it just tells
We don't
you
know
like
how this started.
this
we don't
is what
know
you have to
why,
do.
We don't know why he sings little songs at the end there, but it's just a tradition and it's happened.
Was that made up on the spot?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
They're always.
I mean, isn't it
Believe it or
crazy
not.
that he can do that?
You know what I used?
Wait till you see us rap
the
at the end
front
of the
side
show.
of my brains.
Whoa.
Yeah.
You have two brains?
You know that joke? I think it's from Wedding Crashers. I think it's one of the best jokes I've ever seen in any movie ever.
Never seen it.
Oh, this
She's
is
never
really good.
seen so
Even
many
though I was
movies.
This might
in
be
it
a Vince
with
Vaughn.
Vince Vaughn.
This might
Based on the roast joke.
You've never
from
shown her Goodfellas?
2018.
Oh, did they say that?
That was in Writing Crashers with Vince Vaughn, saying that I was Owen Wilson.
Oh.
And everyone laughed very hard, confirming that it's kind of, you know what? He's an attractive man.
You have longer hair
people
than
love
him.
You-
It's not with it.
yeah.
That's a really good point.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
I honestly look more like him right now.
That's a good point.
But the joke is, it's when it's really, I love it. But I think it's either Vince Vaughn or Owen Wilson talking to a woman, and he says, you know how they say we only use 10% of our brains? And he goes, I think we only use 10% of our hearts.
Yeah.
No, that's good. To like as a
It's
line
part of like a
to hit on.
montage of them hitting on women.
Oh,
Yes,
that
that's-
montage is one of the
It's
best.
brilliant.
Just tits. It's so many tits.
We were just talking.
Remember?
Oh, them flopping
They're
on the
flopping
bed.
on the bed. Tits, tits, tits.
What do you mean? What? Oh, like girls laying back
Yeah.
and it's just tits,
Just tits, tits, tits. Just them
Oh,
fucking
yeah.
at every wedding.
You could watch just the first 10 minutes of that movie and you would be like, this is great.
Yeah, I know it's a movie that I would love, and I've seen clips from it and been very impressed. But that is a weird one I haven't seen. I don't know why.
I'm not going to be a movie guy and shame you for not seeing a
No.
movie. I'm
Yes,
not that.
but that is a
I'm not
bizarre
either.
one I've missed
But
somehow.
She
And I
hasn't
know I
seen
would like
some
it.
pretty big ones. Goodfellas, she's never seen.
What? Who's the
No, Chris. Chris. I'm being
horse in the
serious.
bed.
Chris,
Horse
I'm
in
being
the-
serious.
Are you even a human
Horse out in the
person?
bed.
And how can you even consider yourself an artist?
No,
if you've
Chris,
never-
I'm being serious though.
Ray Liotta. You know what I've seen is the scene from Goodfellas that is essential.
For real though.
for real.
Like for real though.
For real.
But
it is
listen,
always
it's
a
3 hours
to-do
long
when people
about
are like, "You've never seen Goonies? Oh man, what a you're."
and then there's nothing else to be had because they haven't seen it, so they can't even understand anything that you would. They're almost frustrated. They're like, and the scene with the, and they go, you don't even know that.
Yeah.
And they
Well,
just
he
have-
just did that.
I
No,
don't-
he was doing a character.
Oh, as a
Yeah,
character.
That was a
Yes.
character.
You thought he was
Yeah.
really that?
No, I'm saying he
no.
did it with Wedding Crashers. You never saw this scene.
I am anti-movie shaming.
Gotcha.
When that becomes a thing. When
Same.
But the
People
I
get
love
mad I
a
haven't
scene
seen
in a
Young
movie.
Frankenstein. I'm like, it's black and white. Get off.
I love that you remember though that in black and white. Good point. Like, who cares? No one wants it.
No one. What am I? Fucking-
It's old, and I'm sure it's amazing. But that's what you do to your phone. You put your phone in grayscale if you want to spend less time on it because it's less fun to look at. So
Yes.
stop telling me black and white movies are easy to watch. They're not.
you guys just aren't artists, man.
Yeah.
Oh,
well-
what's your last
You-
black and white movie?
You guys can't appreciate things like the way
he
I
loves
do.
What's your
Buster
last-
Keaton. And,
Oh, Mr.
yeah.
I
He's
only
This
like
guy.
I only like movies where they hit one of those like big wooden circles with a stick. That's how the kids are playing.
Whoa. Oh my god.
Those are my favorite toys.
Wait a second.
Wait,
We've already off on so many tangents. Hold on.
No, I do a yearly Schindler's List cry.
You do?
Yeah, I love Schindler's
I've never
List.
seen it.
Yeah.
Well,
What
can we
side
watch it
you
together, or
rooting
is that
for?
a
Yeah, we
person-
can watch it. Yeah, I always get I don't have what it takes to make
a side in
to
this
make
fight.
that joke.
You look Joey.
I get it all the time. People
I'm
think
sure.
people think
Yeah.
that regularly.
Yeah.
That's probably why Glaser even likes me.
I like a Jewish-looking man.
She
I'm
does.
not gonna lie.
She always has. Here's a story that we could do real quick.
What?
Nikki played a joke. We just started
yeah.
dating.
I think Andrew knows this story,
Just
but I
before
doubt
you
the
saw her that
besties.
she was
I
ugly.
doubt the besties know it.
Before you saw her?
Shout out to the besties. But by the way, to the besties,
Yes.
Nikki and Andrew really love you guys. I'm just saying, like, when you're not around, I hear about the besties. I just want you guys to know that you're appreciated.
Oh, that's so nice.
They appreciate when you show up to the shows.
Yeah, they're great.
They love you. So I just want to say
Yeah,
that.
that's so nice.
I-
That means a lot to them. I know
Okay,
because
good.
I do talk about
You
them
do.
a lot.
I hear
Yeah.
about the besties regularly.
And it's such a silly name that it feels silly sometimes. But I'm glad that you can say it with no irony and just it's just.
And
it
they
is-
and they show up for you guys.
yeah, they
We have
they
a whole
really do.
segment that's dedicated to them that we're going to do later in this
good.
podcast.
Oh, so you guys appreciate them regularly?
Yeah,
Well,
fan
everything.
tracks
I
is
guess
what
they
say.
didn't need to hear that.
No,
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 they
I think-
definitely
No,
do because we tell
they
them,
do.
but you always hearing it from someone else that's around some people that
Right.
could go, hey, I always like to tell people what someone says about them.
We've
to-
literally never had a bestie come up to a meet and greet and go, this person, like, they walk away and like, they were fucking terrible. You know,
Yeah,
there's some
none
people
of
where
them
you're
are
like,
lame. None
I
of them.
swear,
that's really cool.
It's
I swear to
rare.
God,
I've
it's
never-
really weird because
I
they're
literally
all,
have never had any group of fans that, as a whole, are just cool people. And every single time Andrew and I go to the green room afterwards, we always go, the besties are the best. They were you can just tell them right away. They don't cross a line.
It's weird.
They don't give you a weird gift that you're like, oh, this is nice, but it kind of smells weird. It's out of an old backpack with like that was carrying like some kind of tuna sandwich in tinfoil before. Like their gifts make sense.
It's all in the name.
that guy made a cool shirt.
I know.
I heard a old radio story because I work in radio now. There's an old radio story where the person that I'm on the show with, Courtney, was on another show called I think
Stephen DC.
I don't know if it was Stephen DC's days, but I think it was called Phillips and Company.
Oh.
And they did this. I might get in trouble for this in some way with them, but it's really funny. They did this contest where they had listeners who were crazy about the show. I mean, there's listeners to this day that still love the show. They had their own version of Besties, but they're like, hey, let's see who makes the best. It was wasn't egg salad. It was deviled eggs. Who
Oh.
can make the best deviled eggs?
I love deviled eggs.
So they were like,
No
this
one.
will be great. We'll see who makes the best deviled eggs. Where they do a contest on the radio. They make this whole thing. Then they had the listeners bring in the deviled eggs. And all the listeners were great, except one brought in the deviled eggs and did not look like the kind of person that you
want
wanted
to touch
eat
anything
their
that they
deviled
make.
eggs.
okay.
And they had to eat those deviled eggs in front of all of those
First of
people.
all, deviled eggs are so
So
gross already.
I don't even. I barely want like. I barely trust my mom to make them right, and she's brilliant at cooking.
Yes.
things.
Yes, that's a delicate thing.
It's
It
a
already
very
is so
delicate thing.
gross.
So they had to eat the
Eggs.
deviled egg in front of the person that made
fan
it.
that
and
brought
then
it.
pretended.
And that person did not look clean. They got to see this person's fingernails,
Yeah.
like, and they were very excited. It was not.
Was it
Oh,
were they delicious?
God. Ew, a fingernail like
Were they good?
cutting into an egg.
You don't want to see some of
Now
them.
you have a face for outside radio, but that is a big
For outside radio.
For outside
they're
radio.
that's done
outside.
Outdoors.
yeah.
In the getting a tan.
on location in
In
different
sta-
bars
in-
and grills.
in stadiums.
Yeah, under a palm tree. No, but you have a good-looking face for radio. There is a common misconception, or maybe it's not a misconception that.
Well, face
I
for
remember
radio
seeing
means
our
ugly.
radio disc jockeys, 92.7.
and
they were disgusting.
And I had like
I
a
couldn't
crush
believe it.
on some of the DJs
Yeah.
just from their voice of being like, he's probably famous and hot. And then you saw and you're like, oh, what?
It's like he has croc clothes somehow. He is a crocodile
Oh,
somehow. It was
God, yeah,
Florida.
yes.
I mean,
They-
they're very alligator friendly. But
No, Chris and his brother Tim are both now on
Oh,
the show, and
Tim
then
is
Brando is not a
gorgeous.
bad looking guy and either, and Courtney's obviously so fucking cute and always has been, but like you are exceptionally good looking, as is seen on my show, and I'm always telling him because he's always doing the filming in the studio, and I'm always like, turn that camera around, give the women what they want.
No, there's a.
oh, you're not.
Here's
on
the
camera?
thing. This show. I've never been
'Cause
on.
he records it.
I've never been on television. I've never done anything like this. So when we did the Nikki's,
Yeah.
the Welcome Home Nikki Glaser, I had no idea. I was like, you're self-conscious about things, and then I saw the first episode and was like, I look significantly better on camera
it's
than I
it's
do
wild.
I feel like I look worse.
than I do in person. You do feel like that, but
I
you've
do.
been on TV and cameras. You've been on this stuff a bunch.
Not
on the
much.
Real World
I also
first.
put on like 30 pounds before the taping. I made sure to look as disgusting as possible.
So you had an excuse.
Yeah.
We had
We
him in a fat suit the entire time.
Yeah, I wasn't at
There's
my
no point
best.
for it, but
So how do you- yeah,
I've
you
never
look
seen.
great.
I've never seen because like in pictures it doesn't come through. When you're on FaceTime it doesn't come through. But like somehow on
It's
this
called
television show,
telegenic.
something
Being
happened.
Telegenic, which is the first
Yeah.
time I ever heard that was Gary Goldman told me I was telegenic.
You are.
Teeth
Which is-
matter. Teeth are big.
Which is you look good on a moving picture. I'm photogenic to a degree, but when the sphere of someone being photogenic, I'm probably a 6. If you're talking about like people who are just like models are naturally no, I look good, but I'm talking about if you're talking about someone that just photographs nice every time, models they're 10s, I'm a 6. 6
Yeah,
is high.
I'm around there.
I have to say 6 is high. I'm not selling myself short, but when it comes to telegenacy, whatever that word is, I'm a 10. I look so much better. I'm more comfortable. I'm dynamic. There's something interesting. Even I can watch myself, but I
Yes.
can't listen to myself a lot of times. And your
you
face,
you go to like total different. You're otherworldly on
likewise.
when you even get gussied up in person and television. You just take it to a totally. It's an insane level that you get to.
I think close camera, I'm solid. Like I have nice eyes, like close,
that's true.
straight face,
yeah,
straight
close
on,
so that your eyes
like-
almost crossing and it's a blur.
Yeah,
You
like
look
I'm looking
really
at
great.
a penis right in front of me. Yeah, and it's,
That's what we said. Ryan Reynolds, his eyes are so
yeah.
close together. He always just looks like he's
like-
like a penis is coming at his face. I don't know why. Oh, I guess because I said his voice sounds like he's kind of gay. Is that
Is
a
he?
rude thing to say? I think that's what
No.
got the conversation. I was like, his voice is a very. It's not super masculine, even though I think he's so hot and
well, that's why Daredevil, I think,
Easy?
is such a. I think Daredevil is because he doesn't come off as like a rough
Yeah.
man. That's why it's
Canadian. It's not.
Oh,
It is.
yes, it's
that's
Canadian.
there's a thing about that. Like
yes.
I went up to Montreal. Like I don't know.
okay.
I
let's
remember
not
this
show
story.
off.
You went to
We-
Montreal and you went to the strip clubs.
I don't remember that. Did
Oh,
we?
I remember that you did. It was right before we started dating, and I was very intrigued by it.
I don't remember doing that.
I just remember you went up to Montreal as a single man with Andy and
Yeah, we
someone
went up
else, and
there.
you were just up there just talking to the ladies, and I'm
Love a
like,
strip club with a couple
kinda
buddies.
d-
I went up there
damage
with a
did you
guy
get into?
with a guy who's like he's
Damage.
next level. Everybody's interested in him. Everybody like is just crazy about this
Andy
guy.
Lee is his name. He's famous person in Australia, very famous person.
Okay.
But he's magnetic and he's all these wonderful things and
He is. He's warm. He's tall. He's tan. He has great hair.
unbelievably funny,
He's funny.
charming.
He laughs at your jokes. Like
Yeah.
he is just.
I want to meet this guy.
He's like, you met Hamish. Didn't you meet Hamish?
No, I never got to meet them,
Tom met
unfortunately.
Hamish. But they're just the nicest guys. But anyway, you would go out hobnobbing around town with that guy. And I mean, he's 6'4". What are we talking about?
compared with next to me, he
Next
looks
to
like
you,
he's 6'9".
Yeah.
But yeah, he's magnetic, and so people are like wild about him. So at some points in these nights, we're talking to people that are just extremely beautiful.
Yeah.
And multiple groups of like ladies talk to us, and he and I mean, you know me, like I'm a guy, but I'm not like wildly I'm not like some tough guy. I'm not a very big fella, and Andy's not like some brute like.
Yes.
Yeah, he's not like Jason
But
Momoa.
6'4" in a bar, things change for you. That's a different life.
They kept telling us
He looks famous.
They
too.
kept telling us, they're like, you guys are the most masculine men we've met in years. They're like,
because
we're just like a little bit. I wouldn't say even aggressive. It's just we weren't as like deferential as Canadian men were. So I
Yes.
think Ryan Reynolds has this.
I've always felt that way about. I've said that when I go to. And no offense to Canadian men, I know we have many Canadian men who listen to our show. I've always been up there. When I remember back, like in my early 20s, I used to say when I was a single girl and being like, "What could happen? How does anyone have sex in this town or these towns? Because men do not make any kind of move. They're all so respectful.
I think they were respectful. Yeah.
They're
15 sorries, you start.
But we
eating
were-
each other. Like I like the idea of like if you apologize enough,
Yes.
then you're there. Like it does.
But
It's
yeah, it
it's
goes
the
back the
opposite.
other way.
Like yeah.
Well, I don't understand, but because we were just talking, Chris. Like,
But
for
Ryan
someone
Reynolds-
to make a move, they have to take a risk.
Yeah, you got to take a risk.
And
But maybe you don't there. That's what I'm saying. Like maybe it's so like in their personality where it's like just understood that we're gonna be pleasant.
things get crazy
until,
when you're out on the ice curling long hours,
Me and Andy were up
throwing
there.
back that poutine.
Up there to see like what we
Eh?
could what sort of we were looking to
Tony.
fall in love.
You were what? You were looking to fall in
This is
love.
before you.
Yeah, but you were looking to fall in love.
No, we were looking.
Oh, j'adore les hommes des Américains. Ouh, et Australiens. Oui, oui,
Vancouver?
oui. Yes. No, Montreal.
Oh.
Okay, but
Oh,
you were
But I
looking
just
to
think the guys there are respectful, and I think that Ryan Reynolds, because he's so nice,
Yes.
that seems like it's not masculine, and I
Agreed.
find that to
Nice.
be unfair at times.
It is
Agreed.
unfair. And you know what? I used to feel that way.
Because
like-
he's not alpha then if he's nice.
Yeah, and he's just like comfortable being himself, and maybe he's talking more softly than most men.
Yes.
or whatever it
more,
is.
He smiles a lot. He's enthusiastic. It just comes across. I hate to say gay, but I like that men that are that comfortable and that like easy and fun are usually more gay. I don't. That reminded me of my mom when I just said that. But
That
like,
is very-
there's a tinge of like he just doesn't come across as like when women are like, oh my god, he's
Well,
so
they call
hot.
them metrosexuals. I mean, it's like
Right.
it's obviously a term.
But I'm crazy about Ryan. I love Ryan Reynolds. Always have. But what I do want to say is,
Well, there's something hot about a guy dressing rugged and then
You're like that.
also being nice. Like
Yeah.
Yes.
And we do have. It's like seeing a guy. You ever see a guy with a bunch of face tattoos and a piercing through his nose, and you're like, this guy's gonna talk like this, and he's like, hey, how are you?
Right.
And
Yeah.
you're like,
That
whoa.
juxtaposition
Yeah,
is like
it's
a
not.
nice
Yeah,
thing.
it's
But
a.
you know what I
You
like,
probably
though?
get this sometimes too, because you're so friendly and nice that people might assume that you're gay, and it's like not fair because you don't have to be
Yes.
gruff and like weird and rude to people.
Yes.
to be.
I also
masculine.
have a look. I have a hairy, like I could have a stern looking kind of face at times,
Yes.
but I
You
feel
look a lot like Howard Stern.
I just feel like a very silly.
Spade's
like,
assistant thought you were gay.
oh really?
Remember when you came to meet us for dinner?
Oh,
I
yeah,
was like-
yeah.
And she goes, I thought he was gay, and I was like, no one's ever said that to me about him, but it's just because you're nice.
I
And,
take
like,
it as a compliment.
all the
really.
stuff. Oh,
Yeah, yeah.
totally.
Yeah.
Yeah, you
well,
got to.
what I really like on the flip side of this is that I do think it's incredibly sexy when someone that is generally like very nice and personable and like fun can have that other side to them, is that like the sexual side. Like no one knows that side of you except me. Like and several women
the Montreal
throughout,
strip
and by
clubs.
several I mean Andrew's definition of several. Many women know
a lot.
that definition or know that side of you, but I like that it's not just it's not there. It's when it comes out of you, it's like very special occasions, and it's not like just part of who you are. It's like, but it is. It's an essential part of who you are. But it's just exciting when I see it come out, and I'm just like, oh my God, this guy is just like a guy that just like he's a sexual man, and I sometimes forget like, oh, this guy just he's like a dude, like, and not that I
Can you
forget
imagine
that, but
being
it's
with
so
a guy
attractive
that's
to me.
always sexual? Can you
would be
imagine how
disgusting.
fucking exhausting that would be?
But I just
Like
love
you're at the bottom of the Spanish steps, and he's like,
before you think that what I just said was weird.
Oh, Dios mío.
No,
What?
I don't have.
I think that was Spanish,
But I just love, that I love when men get like stupid when they're horny. It just turns me
Yes.
on.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
that's what I mean. Like, you are just a guy that's just, sometimes you're just like susceptible to the to feminine wiles. And there's something so hot about that when a guy just becomes like, just kind of starts like looking at your body while you're talking to them. And you're like, oh, are you not, listen, can you not hear what's going on in your body right now? You can't fight it. It's just like cute.
It is hot.
Because you don't have any control. That's what it is. It's like, but you do having control, because that's the dynamic I like in a sexual relationship. But it's funny because you suddenly see this person losing their faculties around you because they
Right.
want you so bad. And there's something so it's nice about that. Like right now, I just sense this urge from you.
Yeah, should I leave? Should we do the news, or
Let's
should
get
you
to
just
the news.
guys bang uglies? Is that a word? Bang uglies? What
I
is
think
heard
that?
I think
people
the
have said
phrase
it.
is I don't like
Bump
it.
uglies.
But it's
Bump uglies?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a weird phrase.
News.
Kind of makes sense.
You heard it here first. Yeah, you heard it here first.
We talk about my football throw? Okay, let's do the news instead.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you, everybody. Apparently, it's been a great day. It's Thursday. You're having all the swells. You know what that means? It is Thursday. I really messed this up.
No,
I
it
think
sounded
Chris
good.
made me nervous with doing the news because I had to get very serious.
Yeah, what's going on with Andrew right now? He's
Oh,
so
I'm having a
serious.
stroke.
He's just horny.
Sorry, I'm getting too serious for you over there. Anyways, back to you, Noah.
Okay, did you?
I started reading the news and then they took it away from me, Chris.
You gave it.
Oh, because Noah's probably great at it.
She is
I'm
great
that
at it.
bad. Not just kidding.
Because Noah,
Just kidding.
I've heard that Noah is very smart and very sharp.
And I've always said that.
Just kidding.
No, Noah is smart, and she just, she talks clearly. People don't hear enough from her. It felt good to just give her that role. And sometimes Andrew would present information, and I would need more context, or he would look just down on his phone. It
Yeah.
was
As
when
if
we
he's
were doing it
reading
on
it to
Zoom,
himself.
and he would just be like this
Yeah,
on
it's
the camera.
It's not Andrew's vibe. Like this, that you did the right thing. It's not
But I
setting
could
Andrew up
do
for
it. I
success.
could
You
do it.
could do it,
he
but
can
it
do
seems like
anything he wants, and I've always said that.
Thank you, Nikki.
you
And
believe
when
in
you
it.
wear that wig, that really makes me feel like I'm talking to someone who I would say that to. You can do anything you
Hits
want.
me here in the
Yeah.
kidney.
You get right there in the solar plexus.
10% of my
kidney.
kidney right here. Call back ham drip earlier about the show. All right, Noah. in
Okay.
your camo hat.
Did
I
you
just noticed
know
that it's camo?
that there is a neurological condition that makes people who have it tell inappropriate jokes?
Andrew should be doing the news, right, guys? I mean, after that, I feel like
It was.
it just feels like an Andrew. This should go right back to Andrew.
Well, he won't
Okay.
be
You
able
pussy.
to pronounce this.
What?
You won't be able to
Oh yeah,
pronounce
the pronunciation was a hard
Oh,
thing too.
no.
Patients with Witzel-Sucht syndrome tend to make jokes compulsively, sometimes without realizing that what they said was inappropriate or even funny. And another bizarre
I have that.
aspect of the disorder is that patients can sometimes have difficulty reading sarcasm.
Oh, I sometimes have that too.
Nikki has kind of
Yeah,
been
Nikki. Yeah, sorry, go ahead.
No, you go.
No, you go, silly.
No, it's you. This is your show.
I don't give a fuck. There's no hierarchy
Well,
here.
I will say
There's a
that-
patriarchy. You shut the fuck up.
Oh yeah, we should both shut up. Actually,
You go, Nikki.
I want to hear what Chris has to say because
Hey,
he
how
said my
dare you!
name and I was like, "Whoa, what's he gonna say?"
Nikki does this thing, which is it's maddening at the time, but it's respectable always in hindsight.
Yeah.
Which is we'll be in a legitimate. This hasn't happened in a long time because we haven't gotten in like real serious legitimate fight discussions where it's like we might be going our separate ways. But I don't have a
It's
great
been days.
example, and I wish
Do it now.
and I wish we did.
Do it now.
But I'll say something, and we'll be in a real fight where we're like really serious, and she'll make a joke, like a really hilarious
Yeah.
joke, and you kind of have to acknowledge it and be like, "That's really funny," and you're charming.
But can we keep?
But we really have to get through
Yeah.
this stuff.
Yeah.
But it's inspiring because her brain is just constantly, she can't turn it off.
And for me, I can turn it off. I think I do those. I swallow a lot of those when it's really bad between us. I did not intend that. But
Yeah, right.
I spit some of them.
Ballin'?
No, I say those sometimes when all of a sudden we are in a dark spot in a fight where it's like, ooh, this might be like one that like might fracture us in a way, or it could go that way. I will wait until that fracture seems to have been stabilized, glued back together, and the glue is not totally hard yet, but I can give it a little wiggle, and that's when I will start peppering in jokes that will make him just kind of just go, like the second we're able to give each other a little bit of like, that was good, is when I know we're on
The fight's over.
we're on solid ground.
We've been in situations though where it's like we are 5 more words away from being done forever.
Yeah.
And she'll throw
Really?
a joke and you've
I cannot believe I don't even know what you're talking about.
Yeah, definitely. I wish I could remember
Oh, me
because it would be
too.
funny and people would love it. But like in that moment, I'm not in like a position to be remembering things.
No, oh
but
my
yeah,
God.
it's. I mean, that's something that is inspiring. It's helped me with the radio show too sometimes.
What
'cause,
do you
like,
mean?
To find comedy and like serious stuff.
yeah, when that sort of thing is when things are a little bit tense, or when I'm not doing my best, or I'm not feeling my best, or I don't think I'm doing a great job, is to still be thinking about something that's funny because that's part of what you do for a living.
Yeah, and just trying to get something out of it. But we were just talking about that, showing up to work and like, you got to do a podcast every day. He's got to be on radio 4 hours a day. Some days you're in a bad mood, and you don't want to
radio, I
act
think you
like
can't even be yourself less than here.
Well, and with you guys, like
Right.
you guys have a
His show is pretty good about them being themselves as far as morning radio shows go.
For
That's
morning,
why
yeah,
I
yeah.
like
oh no,
listening to it.
I think we're as authentic as you get.
It's-
Yeah, that's great.
As
mean,
you can
we're
be
not-
on terrestrial for sure.
Yeah, well, I mean, I would probably drop like some bad words and stuff naturally, but I would say that none of us we're not like, hey, how's it going?
Yeah,
This is
yeah.
a thing. Oh, I can't believe we're talking to
Pretty
the.
good though.
No,
We don't
could
we
do
don't
it
do
though.
it like that.
Just like Andrew could read the
But
news.
you guys have a big challenge too because you guys are legitimately friends. You live close to each other. You see each other all the time. You're also coworkers, and so you're on weekends together where you're having tons of fun, and you clearly love each other. But then you have to come in here on days where you're like, you
Please
do
don't
have a
joke.
relationship that's like a little bit like coworkers and siblings and
Yes.
best friends.
Yes.
And you're almost like a band
Yes.
that loves and hates each other.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, it's messy.
It's
But
a
great.
roller coaster,
Yeah.
and you have to come in here and do this show. And I've never listened to the show. Do you guys work things out on the show?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we've worked.
Well,
some
I mean,
things
it's
out.
gotten a lot better than the first year we did this, where we would have really bad fights where it would be like,
When we
this is
lived together
unlistenable.
too. It was
That was insane. To
it was
me.
a lot.
It was
Living together
yeah.
on tour, podcast, everything.
Because I would get in the middle of a point that I felt like I needed, because it would be the one place where we could like let it out, and I almost didn't want to get off air because then it won't be safe anymore to just like have a little bit of a referee.
Once Noah says goodbye, then you guys are just sitting
There were
here
two
together.
people, and I yell, "You know what, Andrew? Go to fucking therapy." And you go, "You need to go too, Nick." And I slam a door.
Yeah.
But I have your back sometimes too, because obviously you go upstairs and I don't know, downstairs. I don't know where you live, but you go and you say like, oh, maybe Nikki bummed me out doing this today, and sometimes I defend you.
Well, thank you.
Oh yeah, I love when you take us, because you can. I think it's important for partners to obviously hear their partner out about why they're upset and acknowledge it. But I think I actually really rely on you to add the other person's back in the story, because as much as I probably want you to take my side and be like, fuck that, just having you don't go, you're wrong. You just go, I can see maybe. I think
Why he would do that,
Yeah.
or why he would think this.
I
or
feel
what-
like
Yeah,
the best
it helps.
advice that she told me that you told her in confidence that I'm bringing up to you now in front of her face.
No, this is going to start a
That's-
fight.
No,
Listen,
it
to,
won't.
listen to
She'll-
Friday's podcast. It's going to be heated.
No, it's just
Deep
that
tease.
that
we're not
your
having a
friends,
Friday podcast
your
now.
friends in Australia, they have a very strong bond, a great radio show, but they have their own lives too. But when they come together, because they have their own shit going on, it makes for a better show.
Yes.
And I think since I moved to the 3rd floor, 9 floors down, but I've honestly I've branched out a little bit and having my I've never had to live with I'm like growing up a little bit. I don't think
Right
it's-
before our eyes.
but and so is she.
Well,
And
oh,
I,
yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
I think
I'm not aging. Shut the fuck up.
no, just
growing up, no.
just your elbows.
Just emotionally.
I mean,
I'm a
you're
little baby
emotional.
girl. I'm the smallest little baby hostess there's ever
You're
was.
quaint.
Look at how tiny Nikki
I
is
just
next
won
to me.
the
I'm
Guinness
huge,
book for the
and Nikki's-
littlest baby
I
podcast
don't even know how
host.
you're on that chair.
I'm
to
a
be
little
honest.
baby girl. Okay.
But I do think that was some of the
Yes.
because we come together, and I really do think it just makes I don't know. It's a lot for anyone to work together, live together, go whatever, all that.
But you
stuff.
always want the
impossible.
cast of friends to be friends. You always want the band you like to get along. Like it doesn't. Luckily, I know that our besties don't have this illusion about us that is like, or a delusion where it's like they're just best friends all the time. Like because we're so real in here, they've heard our worst fights, literally our worst fights, because
Yeah.
we'll recap them on.
They're worse than in real life.
Yeah.
But to me, those relationships, like bands, they're the closest relationships that I know about because it's almost tighter than family. Because with family, you know, you can go and treat Lauren horribly, but you would never treat.
And I will tonight.
Or your mom, you can say
Totally.
something horrible to your
Yeah,
mom.
I cussed my mom out the other night.
But like you probably wouldn't do that to, let's just say, Noah or
Never.
another another new friend. But like you and Andrew are so close as friends that you've crossed over into this
Family.
family
That's true.
territory
Yes.
where you can say horrible things to each other and get over it and get past it. But
Be our worst selves.
Be your worst selves,
yeah.
and still love each other. And that is like family. It's like a band.
That is true. That's a really good point because I wouldn't say certain things to like Noah that I would probably say to Andrew because I do know that it's.
And Noah's not annoying, so you wouldn't have to say that.
Yeah, I
stuff.
wouldn't have to.
Thanks.
I didn't mean to take a shot at you. I was just trying to make
you
a
did?
joke.
I'm
Yeah.
too dumb to realize.
Okay.
No, I think that it's true. I do look at Andrew as like family
Yeah.
for sure.
For sure.
At this point,
You guys are like a band.
you know, family that you know. There's a little bit more complications within it because we work together and things like that add to it. Another element of things.
But that's why it's almost like a hyper family.
Sometimes I
It's
think
like it's a band.
our friendship, if I didn't work for her, even though I love working for her, like it could, like our friendship would be so hilarious if we were on the same, like there was no like
Yes.
working stuff where we'd be such even better friends where
Yeah.
it'd be like,
Oh, you think it's holding us back?
no.
Uh-oh.
Oh, God.
Listen to
Here we
Friday's
go.
podcast.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
what are some
No.
of your favorite things about this podcast? About doing this with Nikki, like a regular check-in? What are your
Oh my god.
Well, I think that Nikki's brilliant. I think that I learn every day from her. I admire her work ethic. I think that I don't know, like she is so dynamic and the fact that how much shit she does.
little,
Huh?
very little.
little?
Well, she's small and quaint and like it's kind of weird because you think she'd be bigger in person, but she's so much smaller.
So tiny, and she does so much stuff.
Yeah, so much stuff with her little hands, which is weird.
You're like, how does she do all this with those tiny little?
And also her bunions, they look big because she's so little.
Yeah, that's why they look.
That's
big.
a good point.
No,
Thank
but
you. No,
I-
that's Andrew. That's very nice of you. To
No,
say.
and I feel like
Chris, thank you for asking.
I'm gonna ask you too.
and like, you know, just her in a swimsuit. It's just, no, as your boyfriend, I just want to talk to you about this. Like her tits are like seriously dope, right? Is that what we're
are.
There, it's. I don't really want to get into this necessarily, but it's sort of a departure for me.
No, please. Take the.
Take the reins.
I don't even know how to talk. Like it feels sleazy, but she's special. They're special. You're very special.
Dope.
Thank you.
Some next level stuff going on.
Thank you.
Just saying. So what? But what
Likewise.
is one of your favorite things about doing the podcast? I hear it from you because you do talk about how funny Andrew
Oh
is
well,
regularly.
my favorite thing. Well, Andrew is just he will adapt to whatever circumstance there is and he's always will. You know, I pick someone because I'm a moody bitch that my being talented and good is really based on what mood I'm in. And if there's someone around to possibly lift me out of it, I'm going to hire that person to be near me because I want to be consistent. So Andrew's someone that like I can always rely on as being in taking whatever mood I'm in, and you know he's the son of an alcoholic, so he's good at like reading depressed women and being like, I'm gonna make this person laugh and feel better. He's good at that, and that's not why I selected him or anything, but like he has a talent for reading my energy and matching it and not making it so that I am my best self, even when that's probably an unhealthy codependent type of thing for me to need that from him. But and he just says things that I would never think of. Our brains are totally different in many ways comedically.
That's one thing you've said a lot of is that like Andrew cracks you up because he's saying things that you just
That my
can't
brain doesn't
believe
work
how-
that way.
Can't believe how funny they were and how fast.
And it's like mad because I want to figure out every angle for a joke, and then there's some things you say that I'm just like, oh, I would have never looked at that equation that way. Like you break an equation that I would like spend all day on a chalkboard, and you're just like 82, and it's just like that's annoying, but so handy to have around.
Yeah, but the way you can, I mean, it's crazy watching her on F-Boy and like take a script that isn't done by any means, and she can work it while in real time, you know, and organize her thoughts and just destroy and make it clear, and just TV ready, and no one else can fucking do that, dude.
Man,
no one else can do that.
We were on our way.
I mean, you.
I've witnessed her doing.
It's
this stuff.
wild,
but I get reminded of it.
But she's so small too, which is
weird.
weird.
It's weird,
And it's an
even though the camera adds 95 pounds,
and you think like her brain must be. She's so tiny. Her brain's
my
tiny.
brain would be tiny too.
But
And it is, but it's like
in her purse.
there's a lot in there.
Yeah.
I mean, we were on our way up to my brother's wedding, and we were writing roast jokes about Tim and Emma. And, you know,
Oh, that was really cute. Your
Well, she
reaction to
wrote
that.
these 6 months ago.
honestly, it was something I would expect that it would take her 3 weeks to like just really get this stuff out. And we're just on our way up there, and she's saying some of the funniest things I've ever heard. And it isn't about like, you know, Blake Griffin, like famous people. This is specific things about my brother and sister-in-law, and they're unbelievably. I mean, it was brilliant. It was.
It was really sweet. Yeah. The next day, he was just like, I can't get over yesterday.
I couldn't.
That stretch of highway that we were on, where you were just firing. It was just like I've never seen anything like it. It was really. That was really.
cool.
She'll take a lot of my dumb ideas that are maybe outside the box and like.
Yeah, that's what I like about.
And
us.
then she narrows and she can like bring
she
it
gets
in.
to the like center of it.
Where
so
I'm like,
quickly.
oh, I would never
Thank
write
you,
it like that.
guys.
What do you
so
guys like
much.
about Noah?
What do I like
You know what?
about
We have to go to
Noah?
break.
Yeah, can we go to break?
I can't wait to tell you when we get back, but we will say that when we get back. We are back. What I love about Noah
Man, we really
is-
crushed a lot of news stories there.
I know. Boom, 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 man. We just get in there and we get through them all.
Is
We've
boom, boom,
never
boom a
once
thing?
done more than
well,
two
there
news
was one.
stories.
There was one like there was one
State of the
day
Union.
tell her-
where
tell-
we did
State
for a
of the
podcast
Boom-ian?
where I was like, the podcast is now. We're gonna get through news stories and we're gonna go boom, boom, boom. Like the
We
second
had our
half of season
season
be
2
news stories.
meeting. We're like, we're
Yeah.
gonna
Yeah.
get through the news. We're gonna have
Things
5
were gonna
news
change.
stories.
And so now we never even get through one hardly, and it's not boom, boom,
Whatever.
boom at all, and we always mock it.
I want to I have got that, you know, like I've only been doing my radio show, The Courtney Show, for a little while, and I just recently got that feeling that I've been talking. You know, you get that feeling where you're like, I'm talking too much today.
No, you're not. You're great.
No, you're really good. You.
So I want to apologize to everybody that's like, I came to Nikki's
No.
podcast to talk to Nikki.
No,
There's
this is
nothing
what-
worse
this is-
than pulling shit out
it's
of
the
a guest.
I hate when my guests just sit here and just kind of like are quiet because I feel like they're not having fun and they're not engaged. Like this is how much you would talk in a
Okay.
conversation, you know. For
You're
me,
not
this is
overdoing
like
it.
I would even want more from you. What I will say though, what I wanted to, well, you know why I love Noah. Noah is someone that I can call at the drop of a army hat. That she's wearing, and she will give me great advice. She's so thoughtful. She will send a bunch of different articles. She will be thinking about the thing that I'm going through that I call her about. She's just a tried and true best friend that will always be there and like really loves me. You know, like I always said that when Bob Saget died, I was like, there's just one less person on the planet that loves me. Like I know that sounds selfish, but that's what I just couldn't stop thinking about. Like it just made me sad. Like he really got me, you know, and not many people that I am acquainted with, as little as I was Bob, just get it right away. But he's one of them, and Noah's one of those people too. Of like, she would do anything. She just loves me, and I know that because it's
nice.
it's. I almost said conditional. It's mutual, and so I know what she feels about me back at me, and she just said time and time again. I just know she's always in my corner. It's awesome. And she's fucking good at her job, right?
Yes, you said that many times.
Noah's amazing at her job.
Oh, never complains. Always deals with me being like, I forgot to do the ad read, and she's like, it's okay. So if you find time today, it would be great. But tomorrow, it's totally fine. Tomorrow, I'll talk to them. And listen, you have had a rough week. You've had a long week. You were in Idaho, for Christ's sake, on Thursday. So no one is going to expect you to do these ad reads when you said that you were going to do them. And even though I'm going to get in trouble, I'm not going to make you feel that I am. And it is going to be fine. Everything's
Yes.
going to be great. And yeah, I can't wait to see them. And yeah, I'll set a reminder in your calendar. Cool. All right. Okay. great. All right, I'm gonna go to the jiu-jitsu. Okay, great. Bye. Love you too. That's Noah. Just nothing but
Noah.
positive, even though on the other end of that is a shit ton of work for her. So,
But I love
I'm
it.
grateful
What a
for
gal.
Noah.
I
What a
get to
gal.
do
Love you.
I get to do what I love, and I get to work with like two of the funniest people that I'll ever know in my life. So no
The
complaints
best
here.
part, before we start the pod, I usually upload the disc or whatever. I do all the hard labor around here, which takes about 3 minutes. But Nikki's always throwing on like some last second makeup, even though she doesn't need it because she's so little and you can't even see her pores.
Yeah.
because they're so small.
It's lit.
Yeah, what, she use doll makeup? I don't understand.
Yeah,
Like from Polly Pocket? I don't get it.
she just puts on a little blush. So, but me and Noah
All
have
the words are shortened too.
Yeah, they can't even fit on the containers.
I put on some
some
mask
mask.
and lip.
So, but Noah and I have like mini podcasts before we start rolling.
Yeah.
Where we just talk to, like today we talked about the George Foreman grill.
Oh yeah.
With the Joe
And then
phone.
the other day we talked about my nephew doing jujitsu or no, and we just have this like little bond for 5 minutes right before the show starts.
Yes.
That is so sweet and puts me in such a good mood. And
I
that's what
fluff
you
you
do.
up.
Like
I
you
fluff
fluff me up.
She's a fluffer.
You fluff me up. No, so no matter what mood Nikki is in, I'm already hard
Yeah,
as a rock.
Tornado Glazer comes in and is just like, "Where's my Starbucks?" Wait, so Andrew, do you even record that thing? Okay, cool. Oh God, this room's such a mess. Hold on, 1 second. I forgot. Where's my Starbucks? Just like running around, like literally. Kirsten was doing an impression. No, the other day we were doing an impression of Love on the Spectrum, the
Yeah.
new one. There's a guy on there.
Which one, the
Anya and
curly
I
hair,
were doing an
long
impression.
curly hair guy?
Long curly hair blonde guy.
Oh, he's
That's
so
like,
great.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I really do hope that she likes me, and if everything goes as planned, I mean, God willing, she will be mine. I am very nervous for tonight. I do want to get a haircut. I like my hair. I hope she gets an appetizer. What if she? I hope she does look fine
Should I
tonight.
pay for dinner?
yes. Anya was doing.
Oh, that
we're
was really good, dude.
Thank you. Do you know why it's good? Because he is me. I am him. Kirsten or Anya wrote to me and did an impression because she was doing impressions of all of them. She can nail it. And
Yeah,
we're not
she's
doing
very
mean
good at
impressions,
it.
by the
Yeah.
way. It's just these
Oh,
people
these
are
guys are
so
amazing. Yeah.
beautifully complex and the way they talk is so interesting. And she sent me him because I go, oh, do the blonde guy because I love him. And I listened back to it and I thought she sent me. I thought it was me.
Oh.
Because she was going, I don't know. Ah.
One of my favorite impressions of you, and I don't know who did it. Maybe it's
I
Kirsten.
think it was Anya.
It was Anya. The
Of,
impression
like,
that's just
walking
like
in.
of you walking in.
Oh, with all the bags.
Just throwing bags on the floor and going,
Kirsten does that.
That's the sound.
and Kirsten doesn't do it. The same one of just,
Sometimes she'll drop a coffee. She'll, I know. I think she's gonna have a stroke, like an aneurysm, but like
saw
a
it
cool
on-
one, like a small little aneurysm.
on 30 Rock the other day,
little
though,
Anya.
Liz Lemon, oh, it's so tiny. Liz Lemon was like having a moment where she did that, where she was like exerting, she was, with Jack, and she was like,
When I talk, my doctor says I can't make those noises because I lose my voice.
and I was like, I related so much because I will make a sound sometimes when I drop something or I lose something, and my voice is fucked for a week.
You ever
because it's
yell into a
some
pillow? That's,
No.
No.
Oh, it feels good. It's like it's like going into the forest to yell.
I've never done that. I've never punched a wall.
Have you ever cried into a pillow? Have you
I've
ever cried
punched a wall.
in a shower against your hand against the
I
wall?
do. I do
I've
this
done that.
slow. What's
fall down?
What's the beep? The slow slide
Yeah.
down the shower wall.
Oh, yes.
Cry in the
Yes.
in the bathroom.
That I've done that before.
But do you remember the joke?
You're off
Oh.
camera right now. What's going on?
Oh well,
Do I remember the joke? What?
the joke from 30 Rock. It's so good. I feel like it's
Tell
one of
me.
those ones that you would remember. When he, if you don't remember, then I'm not gonna get it.
You don't.
We'd have to go
Can you
look
remind
it up.
me?
You ever punch a wall
The
soft?
slow shower cry. You've
I don't
said it.
remember that.
You've said it to me before.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
God damn it.
You never punch a wall soft?
I've
Like
never
I punched.
I've never
a
been
wall
so.
and then I like stop my because I know I'll break my.
Well,
hand.
it's a double-edged sword, Liz. Just like the one Mickey Rourke, just like the one Mickey Rourke used on me sexually.
Yeah.
You know what, Mark? It's called fidelity, and that's not just the name of a bank that's suing me. Like lines like that are just the best 30 Rock lines. What I was gonna say about, I was trying to reference when we broke up, and I heard that you told me that one night when we went up after we broke up the first time. I thought you were just like fine with it and getting on with your life, but then once we went to the park and met up, it looked like the end scene of Philadelphia. Like he looked like he had lost a lot of weight and was not doing well, which felt
How long was it from the breakup?
3 weeks, 3 or 4 weeks.
Oh, okay.
and he looked not well. And he
Are you sure he
told me
just
at one
wasn't going to
point-
that gym?
I know. Yeah, he was chasing that bod.
I was chasing
The Philadelphia Bond.
me and what was the guy's name in the
Tom Hanks.
Hangman.
Hangman? You knew that too quickly. Me and Hangman chasing the same bod.
Anyways, yeah, so he looked
He
sickly.
told me though that, and I'll never forget it. And it made me. Cause sometimes you just don't. Especially back then, I just didn't know that he was complex emotionally. I
Yes.
really didn't. We just didn't show those sides of ourselves until we were breaking up and had to get real about it. And I remember him telling me that he was in the shower and he was so sad that sometimes he just couldn't stand up and he would just lean his head against the shower and just lean. And like him putting his arm against the wall and then resting his head against his arm.
The one I remember is just a long sigh that you just don't, you just
Yeah.
never really expected. It just wasn't a part of your personality to do like a
You
long
didn't realize
sigh.
you've been holding it in for months.
And you're just like,
I really liked that. And then you told me the songs you were listening to, and I was like, dude, this guy is emotionally very complex. This guy contains multitudes, and I want to get back in there and get him.
I might have found this thing. Enjoy your weepy slide down the shower wall. It's the Robert Furlong quote. He's saying it to Amy.
Oh yeah, that makes sense.
The only time I've ever done that wasn't a heartbreak. It was senior year in high school. I was playing two-a-days in football, so you do two-a-days in Florida.
Oh God, hell.
And I took ecstasy the night before. I've never taken ecstasy. This cool kid came up. This guy, Dale Bischoff, he came up from Miami. He like transferred and he was like cool. And he's like, no, everyone takes ecstasy down in Miami. They take it when you play the actual game. And I was like, okay, Dale. And I went to a rave and I fucking took ecstasy. And then I did two-a-days. And I just remember falling down this shower wall because I thought I was going to die.
Yeah.
Like after two-a-days in 100-degree Florida heat. I just remember sliding down and just being on the ground and being like, I'm not an ecstasy man. I'm not that kind of
I did that same
you
thing
know?
in Cleveland. My worst hangover.
When you had a hangover,
that
right?
That
You were
made
crying
me
in the
quit
shower.
drinking. I would curled up in the ball in the shower. The other night, I was curled up on the bathroom floor when you were sleeping because I didn't want to wake you because you had a
What?
radio. I cramped so bad the other night. I didn't even tell you, and I was like,
you mentioned it a little in the
I was
morning.
in the morning. I was on the ground, but I didn't want to disturb him because it just was. There was nothing he could do, and so I was literally on the ground, just like there's something about just being on the cold bathroom floor that makes you go, I deserve this, or like I don't know, like this is what I need. This is what like I wanted you to punch me in the stomach the other night because I wanted something to make it hurt more than or match. I don't know what it was.
Plan P.
I just don't know why the bathroom floor feels good when you're sick, but it does because it's cold. Plan
Yes.
P.
P, like punch.
I like it.
Get rid of this stuff.
Yeah, I heard it.
When's the last time you been on
Cried.
the floor crying?
On the floor crying?
Or no, like when?
Or on the floor. Andrew is very interested in if people can get on the floor because
being
he
on the
struggles.
floor.
Oh my
with getting on
God!
the
I
floor.
saw the Backstreet Boys. Obviously, they're still on tour somehow, and they haven't changed their name, which is creepy.
To what, Backstreet Men?
Sure.
No,
Front Street Men. Front Street.
They were always
Grown-ups.
men.
Huh?
They were always men, even when they got together.
That's even creepier to them.
Yeah. Well, I had a countdown
But the guy, like,
to when they became.
they were like, one guy was singing down to the front person in like the front,
Oh, and
and
he
the
couldn't
other
get back
guy
up.
goes to get down, and he's like,
And it, like
and then he sings to them like he takes so long to get
That's
down.
so
Like, it was
funny.
so funny. He was just like,
and then he puts the microphone on his knee to pull up, and you hear a creak.
The first time I realized I was old, I was at a Rancid concert. Were you into like
Ruby,
yeah.
Soho.
Rancid concert in New York at a place called Terminal 5, and we were up.
Fuck yeah.
It was awesome.
Love Terminal
It-
5.
I don't know if it's still
It
going,
is.
but Terminal 5, you know, that had that balcony
Yes.
that surrounded the entire
Of course.
floor.
Someone jumped off it, right, and killed themselves or died recently. Okay, sorry to bring.
That was a
sorry to-
terminal disease.
Oh yeah, that's okay. Never mind. Yeah, that's right. It was a stage 5 of the terminal disease. Okay.
I liked all of that. Man, this podcast is great.
It's pretty
Thank
quick.
You guys really have something special going.
Oh, man,
you're
you know
like a
you're-
band or a family.
Aw, family.
Man. Bam.
But
Bam, bada,
the
bam,
first time
boom.
I realized that I was old, I was at the Rancid concert, and I'm on the balcony, and I'm with my brother and a few guys from MTV because that's where I was working at the time, and I see people like moshing down, down in like the pit, and they were like crowd surfing, and I hadn't crowd surfed in 20 years at that point, like maybe since I was 15.
I can't believe you crowd surfed once. I've never crowd surfed.
Oh, we used to have ska bands down the street here in St. Louis.
Yeah.
that would play, and me and my brother would go, and you would stage dive, and you would crowd surf. It was
well, a
amazing.
lot of them were. I'm sorry, I don't want to interrupt. But anyways, go ahead.
Hurt.
Oh well, so So I'm like, oh my God, this is awesome. They got a guy in a wheelchair up. He was crowd surfing. Like they crowd
How do you think he
surfed.
got in that wheelchair? Crowd surfed at the
Crowd
last
falling.
concert.
Yeah.
But it's like I was like reliving a youthful moment. I loved Rancid. And I was like, I'm
Crowd
going
drive.
down. I'm going to go crowd surf. And then I was like, all right, I'm going to go down. I was like going to give my brother my wallet. And I was like,
How old are you at this point?
I was probably 35,
Okay.
maybe like 33 or something,
Yeah, yeah.
35,
But 30s,
I'm
yeah.
guessing, yeah. And I felt something in my pocket and I was like, I'm not going down there. I don't want to break my Kindle.
That is so
You had your
funny.
Kindle?
I had my Kindle
That's
at a
a real,
Rancid
like-
concert. And like in New York, you like read on the subway
Yes.
because there's nothing, we didn't have cell phone like coverage down there at the time.
No
What book are you
mosher
reading?
is ever like.
What book are you
I'm
reading?
sure it was Game of Thrones. Like almost positive it was Game of Thrones.
Okay, final thought. Can we get to one Fanthrax?
Yes.
Oh yeah, we probably should
Okay,
do one
sweet.
fan.
Okay. Let's start off with Tom. Who has a
I
very
think you can fit a Kindle in your pocket. Yes. Okay.
It's technology.
It would have fell out and some guy's like, is this a fucking Kindle?
This nerd.
What a fucking badass, dude. No, but a lot of that was straight edge, like fucking rock and roll, right? Like back in the day. Like
Well, there was some of that.
they were
going
known
on.
for that.
Noah, sorry.
Sorry, me and Chris are hitting on each other.
Sorry
again.
to Thomas. Who was this? That we're
Tom.
listening
Tom. All right. Here's a
I wonder what his
voicemail from
body's
Tom.
like, Tom.
He'll tell you.
Oh.
Hi, Nikki, Noah, and Andrew. This is your friend Tom calling from Oregon. I'm calling in regards to the term bestie. Now, I consider myself a bestie. However, I am also fat and bald and middle-aged, and I'm a remodeling contractor. And it just seems a little weird for someone like me to identify as a bestie. Like if
Yeah.
I came to a meet and greet and introduced myself as a bestie, I'm sure outwardly you'd be very lovely and gracious, but in the back of your mind, you'd look at me and think, oh man, I hope Grampy doesn't miss the activity bus back to the retirement center. So I guess my question is there a term that's a synonym for bestie that might be more appropriate for those of us listeners in our demographic?
That's a great question.
Anyway, just thought it'd be a funny thing to talk about. Hope you guys are doing well.
Great thing to
Love
talk
the
I think I
pod.
have a good idea.
I work alone most of the time, and you
Oh,
guys
you
keep
still
me
go.
company, and I really appreciate that. Take care. Bye.
Tom, thank you so much. And you're right. Like when people come up there, I can tell there are times that people want to say they're a bestie, but they don't. They just feel so uncomfortable saying it. It's like ordering like
I've got an example.
What?
At St. Louis Bread Company, other people
Yes.
call it Panera. There's something that I love there. It's the top of a muffin. Do you know what it's called?
top of the muffin to yours.
No.
Is like the thing. What
No,
is it
I know
called?
the top of
Do you know what
like,
it's called
like a
at
top of a
Panera?
scone?
Oh, it's called like a muffy.
It's a muffy.
Yeah,
And
you're
so
not
every
saying
time you
muffy.
go, you have to
Can
be
I
like,
have a little muffy?
give me a root beer and a roast beef sandwich, extra roast beef.
I like muffin.
And I don't know, what are those things with the muffin tops?
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
gotta
yeah.
add, like-
oh, is it a muffy? whatever. It's for my daughter.
Yeah. What's the bottom called? That's what I want to know. What about diabesity?
Diabesity?
Like diabetes? No.
Why would we want to reference
'Cause-
diabetes?
Because he was
Oh, he's fat
overweight
and
and
he's
bald, and I
bald.
don't know. It's maybe a joke.
I love that Andrew looked over during Tom's thing and he goes, "I got one. I think I got one." And
You don't
was
like it?
Diabesity.
You don't like it? Is it too mean,
Well,
or it just
well,
doesn't?
first of all, diabetes and bestie don't rhyme. Beaties and bestie don't rhyme.
They kinda
and
have
it
a
still has
feeling.
bestie in it. And he doesn't want to say bestie. It'd be like asking Chris to order a
a muffy, and
Cool
they
guy
call it a
muffy.
musty.
yeah. It
Yeah.
still has muffy in it. It's
All
still-
right. Well, I tried. Sorry.
Well, it was a nice try, and I don't really have a better alternative. But I was gonna say, you know what, suck it up and just be called a bestie, and just you own it, because I don't think it sounds weird to me anymore because I just hear it so much. But I understand that people that just live in the bubble where they're just a fan of our show, they don't say it a lot to people, or if they do, it probably sounds weird.
And one thing
So
that's-
I want an alternative. for them.
I actually don't think there needs to be an alternative. And one of my favorite things about the show that I work on,
Oh, you guys call them Great Taste Gang.
we call them the Great Taste Gang, and we have people that are from all over the place. My favorite people that call into the show are people that we wouldn't expect. Like all of a sudden we've got,
I
we've got
know.
people that are like, 55-year-old mechanics who
Yes.
listen to this, and they're like, I love your show. This is so great. And we're like, oh, I didn't think that was our audience. So when I hear Tom
Yes.
describing himself and saying who he is, like, he doesn't know that there are other Toms out there.
Yes.
And there are other Tom besties, and there are people that are like him that
Yes.
that he just doesn't know about, because there isn't one place.
That's my favorite bestie too, is one that does not look like the other ones. No offense to the ones that look like each other, but like when there is an outlier.
Yeah.
that I feel like is outside of our
1,000,000%. I don't think we should call him. I'm saying if he really wanted to be something else, but I so appreciate.
I think now
Tom.
Diabestie has to be it, and if you want to go by Diabestie, that is out there for you. It's almost like Anal Eyes.
That's what I'm saying.
This is the same as Anal Eyes.
That was where I was
Andrew
going with
wanted
it. I
me to
don't
name my special Anal Eyes because I talk about anal a lot, and it sounds
like
like
what-
Anal Eyes.
Yes.
But it would be, and then the cover of the thing would be me, and my eyes would be assholes, right? Was that it? And it would be
There was
anal
a few
eyes.
different
And I said it
drawings.
can't be because I don't talk about eyes. If I talked about eyes and ass, that would be hilarious to call it anal eyes and be. But
Like analyze.
but you go,
like
he goes,
analyze.
but you see things, you see the world.
Yes.
It's like that doesn't match.
But you
Your
see
eyes-
them through an anal eyes. You see them
Eyes
through-
are always implied because you're seeing things.
Yes. Thank you, Chris.
no, he's saying that.
Thank you.
doesn't
No, I
feel-
think he's saying it very. You don't get sarcasm.
Ah,
This guy.
I have that disease.
It is interesting. You are sometimes the quickest person I've ever met in my life, and then sometimes I'll say, because you'll get in like a ranty
Yes,
thing.
and I'll turn off. I'll
You'll
go
turn off
airplane mode.
airplane
Yeah.
joke brain.
Yeah, it's like but there are times I miss jokes all the time. I mean, people, the besties hear it. They probably go, "You didn't hear."
Someone
Anderson."
wrote me saying that the ceiling made sense
Oh, it did.
in the astronaut joke.
Okay.
Anyways, what were
Thank
you
you.
saying? What were you saying?
I just wanted to talk to Tom again and just let him know that there are people like him out there that go to your shows
Oh,
and
dude,
there are people that
so
just
many.
like him. And that he needs to know that the whole thing about the besties situation is you're not alone. Like you guys all have these common interests and there are people that are just like him
I
out
think
there.
it's the word. It's Muffy. What about you with the
Yeah.
Muffy? Why don't you start saying Muffy?
I
then?
was just being
You're being nice.
folksy about
Have
that.
you
I don't,
tried
I don't-
Diamuffy?
I don't
though.
care saying
You tried Diamuffy?
Well, I have a friend who doesn't like saying Diamuffy. I have a friend who doesn't
Don't
like
cause
saying shrimp nibblers.
Oh God, that's bad.
I get that.
He doesn't want to say that
Yeah,
word.
nibblers isn't fun.
No.
I mean, you don't even need shrimp on
Oh,
there.
my
Nibblers.
dad one time was saying succulents a lot, and I
Yeah,
said, "You that word is you. We've taken that from you. You're not. Go back to accolades. You're not allowed to say, oh, she had all these great succulents in her house. It's like, ugh.
Also, you could just change the tone. You could just be like, "I'm a bestie."
Yeah, sometimes they go, I'm a bestie. And it's just, you can say it under
Well,
your
you know
breath.
how Bestie started because it was the most obvious name
Because we
for
talk to these people like we're
fans.
best
Yeah.
friends.
So we were like,
Yeah.
oh, it's gonna be funny to name the most generic.
Yes.
But it also
as opposed to
fits.
like the Nicky heads
Well,
or
the beauty
the
of
Muffy
this,
face
of the show is that people like Tom,
They get that.
they get that, but they also feel
Yeah.
like they are your friends. Like even though you don't know Tom, he knows you guys like very intimately. He knows everything about you guys, and like he says he's working alone, so he's like it's part of him gets to feel like he's hanging out with his friends,
Yes.
and that's sort of the beauty of what you guys, the club
what
that
we
you guys
hope.
have created,
Yeah.
and this
Yeah,
like
just friendship.
yes, and so there are people like Tom out there.
Yeah, Tom's not alone.
You're not alone, Tom.
Do we have time? Oh, we got to wrap up. Okay. Well, Chris, thank you so much for being. I never call you Chris, babe. Chris Convy, thank you so much for being here. You can follow him on Instagram at Chris Convy, Convy. Gonna be mine someday. I don't even know if I change it, but I do like your last name a lot.
Oh, Convy
It's not a bad
Glaser?
last
It's a,
name.
oh, it's a great last name. Chris Convy. I hope you'll come back. You were so funny and good. They're gonna love
I'm
it.
sorry for talking so much, besties. I just want to give a shout out to
Stop.
besties. I'm sorry.
You have to know that like they need a break from me, and also you did not talk too much. I know what I'm doing here. You were.
I'm
great.
sorry, I didn't mean to do that,
And
but
we
I
all
am just
watched
really
Welcome
enthusiastic.
Home, Nikki Glaser.
Yeah,
So this
okay.
is like
I'm
an extended-
enthusiastic.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Treat.
People are psyched. People love the show.
Thank you for saying that. No, it's very nice. But I'm just very enthusiastic about you guys and about the besties in the show. So I'm sorry if I was too much. But thank
Oh,
you for being
you
nice.
You are not too much at all.
Dias, stop it.
Okay, so we have to wrap. I'm really mad that I made up this rule where at the end of the show, I'm going to rap a little bit. Tonight, I haven't eaten dinner. We just went on a run. We ran around Forest Park with my hun. It's not something that we've ever done, but man, we're going to do it again. We loved it so much, and I love Andrew like a friend. Now, listen, we got to go. Andrew's doing a little dance. Things are feeling good right here on the right. I got romance. On the left, I got my friend. He's wearing a blonde wig, and things are cool. And I'm ready to dig out of this hole that I've made for myself, but I can't get out, so I'm gonna put it on the shelf. Andrew,
Yo, Chris Convy. Yo.
Yo.
Okay, he's the middle brother. They call him the middle one. He's got the big cock and he's got nice guns. His favorite movie is Top Gun because it's an F1 racer with long wings. He's got fucking his own wings coming out his hair, and it looks so good, so you better beware. 2029.
whoa, what's gonna happen in 2029? I don't even
Oh,
know.
I can't wait for 2029
I'll
now.
let you know when it comes
Great
closer.
stuff, guys. Thank you. This is
Thank
so
you,
great.
Chris.
Thanks for
you, guys.
having
Thanks for
Thanks for
listening to the show
having us.
this week.
Thanks for having us.
Oh my God, you just did the bless you. Thank you.
This is my podcast now. You're on my podcast.
Look, take it, man. Me and Nikki are better friends without the dynamic. Man.
All right, thanks, Besties, and thank you, Besties. Don't be cut, and we'll see you in Idaho tonight, and then tomorrow in Salt Lake City, and then Sunday or Saturday in Phoenix, and Noah will also be there. Not on the show, but she's going to be around. So come to those shows if you can. Love you so much, and jackpot.
Love you, Tom.